Hey everybody, I thought I would do this short video to talk a little bit more about part one of your research paper, which is due on Saturday. So if you go to the week 2 tab in D2L, and then you go down to the graded discussions, activities, quizzes, and so on, you will see listed there that part one of your research paper is due and is worth 25 points. So when you click on that kind of title announcing that, you will get the details of the assignment. So I printed out the details of the assignment, and I'm just going to go through that with you briefly to give you a few extra details, hopefully a few extra tips on getting that done. So first, you get to choose a psychologist from any one of the chapters that we are studying in this course. So go through your textbook and try and find a topic that interests you, and then subsequently a psychologist that's mentioned within that topic area and that chapter, and you can do your research paper on that person. Okay, so first thing is to go find someone that you like. So you're choosing a psychologist or theorist from the chapter, from the chapters that we are studying this semester. And you're going to write a paper that is in total 6 to 7 pages long. So that includes a title page, it includes a reference page, and 4 or 5 pages of content. So then on your assignment, you'll see there are 4 kind of questions that you will cover in your paper. So since the paper is about 4 pages long, it will eventually be about 1 page answering each one of these 4 questions. Okay, so the first one is to identify the underlying principles of the theory or work of your psychologist. So is there a major school of thought that they align with? Let's use, for example, Ivan Pavlov, Russian physiologist. The major school of thought that he aligns with, he's found in the chapter on learning. And so behaviorism and learning theory would be major things that are discussed in that chapter when studying Ivan Pavlov. Number 2, how are his or her ideas applying to human functioning and modern psychology? Cite specific applications of his or her work. So you would look into the theory, and with Ivan Pavlov, for instance, is very well known for classical conditioning. How is classical conditioning part of human functioning? You might define classical conditioning, talk about human functioning and classical conditioning. And modern psychology, how does that still use learning theory? There's quite a bit of information in the chapters on these psychologists that you'll find. And your textbook is one of your 4 references, but we'll get to that. So in number 2, you're going to demonstrate in the page or so that you're writing that you understand some of the major principles of the work of your chosen psychologist. Number 3, it says, what are some possible criticisms of this psychologist's work? Well, let's take Freud, for example. If you're writing a paper on Sigmund Freud, you certainly would find people out there who criticize different aspects of Freud's psychoanalytic theory, and you could write pretty specifically about that. You might choose 1 or 2 criticisms to write about. And then you also write about rebuttals to those criticisms if they are out there. Number 4, the final of the 4 questions are your reflections of the theory or work or any other facts that you consider significant about the psychologist. So you kind of wrap it up in the last page, reflecting on the work that this person has done, maybe reflecting on their influence in psychology, and any other fact that you really think should be mentioned. Okay, so overall, that's the assignment. And then if you look at the page, it says due to Dropbox. Exactly what I'm looking for submitted to Dropbox for the 25 points. Okay, it's about a paragraph or so. You're going to tell me which psychologist you have chosen, what chapter is that person mentioned in, what pages, exactly what page numbers. Then you're going to write a sentence or two that respond to each of these 4 questions. So as you go along in this research paper, you'll expand that sentence or two to be a full page. But for this first submission, I'm just looking for a couple of sentences that address each one of these 4 points that I mentioned. So it's about a paragraph. It would be about 8 sentences long. And then it says include 2 of your 4 references written in APA style. Okay? 4 references total. One of them is your textbook. So I would like you to have an APA style reference of your textbook. I'm going to post underneath here a source for how to write in APA style, how to do APA references. So if you don't already know, take a look at that. So to get the second reference, what you need to do is use your online library database. And on the very first page, when you log into our course, where the news items are, if you look in sort of an upper right-hand corner, you'll see an item to click on that says Online Library Database. And in your Welcome to Week 2, I've given you some specific instructions on how to get into that database and the fact that you are looking for a particular database, Academic Search Premier. So you'll be able to get into that. And then you're going to start putting in some keywords that will help you get some more information about your psychologist. So when you get into this online library database, what's really cool about it is that you can call up a research librarian and say, hey, I am doing this online, and I have some questions about how to finesse my research here on Ivan Pavlov, on Sigmund Freud, on whoever your psychologist is. And they will give you fantastic tips on how to narrow the research, how to find really good information. So before Saturday, I would like you to get into that database so you start to see how to do it and how it can help you. And you want to find at least one good source and then make an APA style reference for that and put it in to your Dropbox submission for Saturday. So to recap, you're going to answer the 4 questions, a couple of sentences each. You're going to tell me which psychologist, what chapter, and what page numbers they're on. And you're going to include 2 references in APA style. 1 reference being your textbook, the second reference coming from Academic Search Premier. References will be used to write in-text citations within your paper. That's sort of the topic that we'll pick up next time that you're working on writing your paper. Okay, so email me any questions. I'm happy to help out with this. And go for it. Good luck. I'm sure that you'll get a good start on this. Usually students have a really good time when they choose their own psychologist, somebody that they're interested in, and enjoy doing the research papers. Okay.